Minnesota couple Amanda Womack and Zachariah Whitehead, both 28, are behind bars after allegedly kidnapping their 7-week-old infant. He was under child protection. The Savage Police Department in Minnesota said that on the 12th of January, Scott County Child Protection was made aware that the infant was brought to the emergency room with injuries. Her parents were interviewed, and as a result, police said that Child Protection wanted the juvenile placed in a safety hold in the care of a family member until further tests and interviews could be conducted due to the nature of the injury and the age of the infant. The baby was placed under the care of the grandmother, but she rescinded her role as infant's caregiver because she didn't agree with the terms. On the 17th of January, Savage Police learned that Zachariah and Amanda kidnapped their baby the prior evening and fled town. Police said that the parents' vehicle was last seen pulling a U-Haul trailer in St. Paul, Minnesota, and then Chicago, Illinois, during the late hours of the 16th of January. At around 5 p.m. on Tuesday the 17th of January, Lexington Police in Kentucky located the vehicle on 300 block of Tangley Way and confirmed that the parents were inside a home. Officers negotiated with the suspects for 6 hours in an attempt to get the suspects to exit the residence. At 11:12 p.m, they peacefully surrendered and were charged with felony kidnapping and are held at the Fayette County Detention Center. The infant was reportedly removed from the home and treated as a precaution before being placed into protective custody. In a statement, police said, "We are very thankful for the safety of the infant. We're also very appreciative of the detectives for the long hours that were spent behind the scenes, the assistance of the agents from the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and the support we received from the members of the Lexington, Kentucky Police Department for a safe outcome." 24-year-old Rigoberto Vasquez Baradas of Kentucky is behind bars after being accused of assaulting a pregnant woman on Friday morning. At 9:24 a.m. on the 20th of January, authorities were called to a Lexington hospital on reports of a female domestic assault victim. When they arrived, they learnt that a woman suffered a miscarriage after allegedly being attacked by Rigoberto. Authorities have not released the victim's name or provided any further details about the relationship between the pair. Rigoberto was arrested and charged with first-degree fetal homicide, first-degree strangulation, and second-degree assault domestic violence. He's held at the Fayette County Detention Center. On Tuesday the 17th of January, 18-year-old Gavin Smith was sentenced to spend the rest of his days behind bars after fatally shooting 4 family members when he was 16. At around 10:40 a.m. on the 13th of December 2020, a relative went to check on family members at the home, located at 1384 Cemetery Hill Drive in Elkview, West Virginia, because he hadn't heard from them for a few days. The door was reportedly unlocked, and the relative found 3 deceased residents from an apparent act of violence. According to the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office, deputies responded to the scene and located a 4th deceased victim in the house. The victims were identified as 37-year-old Daniel Dale Long, 39-year-old Reza Mae Saunders, 12-year-old Gage Ripley, and 3-year-old Jamison Long. Investigators determined that the victims had been shot on the 9th of December, 4 days before discovering their bodies. Police identified the suspect as Gavin Smith, Reza's son and Daniel's stepson. Rebecca Walker, Gavin's 16-year-old girlfriend at the time, motivated him to kill his family so they could be together. Following the fatal shooting, she allegedly helped him hide at her grandmother's home along Riverhaven Road in Glendenden. Officers found Gavin hiding behind a dresser in the 3rd floor room of the home, and he was taken into custody. The clothes worn by Gavin tested positive for the presence of blood, which matched that of his family members. Facebook records between Gavin and Rebecca indicated that he admitted to shooting the 3-year-old child. Rebecca was sentenced to 10 years in prison for being an accessory after the fact. Although Gavin was found guilty of 4 counts of murder and use of a firearm during the commission of a felony in December of 2022, he'll be eligible to see a parole board in 15 years' time because he was a juvenile at the time of the fatal shooting. During sentencing on Tuesday, Judge Kenneth Ballard said, "You murdered your entire family in cold blood. You devised this plan to kill your family days and weeks in advance for the selfish reason of spending time with your girlfriend. You executed your mother and your stepfather by shooting them in the head while they were asleep. Then you executed your 2 brothers by shooting them in the head, the youngest of which was hiding under his crib. Your actions can only be described as an act of pure evil. I find that you have no remorse for your actions," he said. Mass shooter responsible for killing 10 people during the Chinese New Year celebrations in Monterey, California, has been identified as 72-year-old Hu Can Tran. The incident occurred at 10:22 p.m. on the 21st of January at the Star Ballroom Dance Studio near Monterey Park as the city's largest Asian American community celebrated Lunar New Year. 5 men and 5 women were killed, and at least 10 others were injured. 7 of the wounded remained hospitalized. Tran was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound on Sunday afternoon, inside his cargo van after a standoff with police in Torrance, California. He'd once been a regular patron at the dance studio, even meeting his ex-wife there. It's unclear how frequently Tran visited the dance hall, if at all in recent years. Tran is also believed to be the gunman disarmed by a group of people at the dance studio in Alhambra, California, shortly after the mass shooting in nearby Monterey Park. Evidence found in the cargo van linked Tran to both the Alhambra and the Monterey Park scenes, and authorities said there's no outstanding suspects. Police are now working to determine the motive behind the mass shooting, as the investigation into the matter continues.